Hello guys, it's Glencoder here. Today we're gonna be doing part 2 of the humidity sensor on the SenseHat. Um, this is part 2 in a two-part series where I show you how to build it. The first part I showed how the color system worked and how to produce text images on the SenseHat, and today I'll be showing you actually how to build it. So at the end of the day, just to give us like a goal, we want pretty much a sensor that can convert the Celsius to Fahrenheit while also producing an image on here with the text that shows the actual temperature. So the first thing you want to do is from Sense Emulator, pretty much that's what EMU stands for, import SenseHat and then make sense equals SenseHat. The next thing you want to do is pretty much declare color tuples. So for example, red equals 2, 5, 5, 0, and 0. Orange equals 2, 5, 5, 1, 6, 5, 0. Yellow is 2, 5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 0. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to give us a bunch of options for the code. Green is 0, 2, 5, 5, and 0. Blue is 0, 0, 0, 0, 2, 5, 5, and okay, so purple is 160, 32, and 240. And finally light blue. Light blue is 173, 216, and 230. So by doing that, it just gives us a bunch of options as of what we want the colors to be for the text. The next thing we're gonna do after that is make new sense equals SenseHat. Sense to equal SenseHat. Then to use temp to equal sense. Want to equal sense dot get temperature. Put that in parentheses. What this does is it gets the temperature from the SenseHat, which is what we need. So it's going to be stored in the temp variable. After that, we want to have temp to equal temp divided by 5 times 9 plus 32, which is the formula for converting Celsius into Fahrenheit. Because when we get the temperature from the SenseHat, it will be in Celsius, and so if you don't want it to be in Fahrenheit, then don't include this. You can just go from here to the next step I'm going to show, but if you want it converted, then you use the formula pretty much. After that, we're going to print, just so it shows in the terminal, in the shell. We're going to print full temperature and then put temp now equals an integer. We want to make temp an integer pretty much. So the next step, pretty much the final step, which is the biggest part in doing this, is we're going to make an if else statement which allows us to change the color of the text due to the temperature. So for example, like if it's above 75, we want it to turn red. If it's in a certain range, we want it to be maybe green, and if it's extremely cold or it's somewhat cold, we want it to turn blue. So the first way we're going to start this is if temp is greater than or equal to 75, we will have print temperature to equal S F sign and temp. Then for the actual, so this will print it, the temperature equals the temp in Fahrenheit, and it will print it on the shell. Now these both here do not actually produce text on the sense hat. In order to do that, we need to do new underscore sense dot show message to equal temperature parentheses at SF percent temp text. So for this, pretty much we want the text color to be red since it's going to be above 75, which would indicate that it's getting pretty warm or even hot. So text color would equal to red, and the scroll speed will equal 0.07. Pretty much what this does is that it makes, so you can pretty much set the actual speed that the text moves on the sense hat. So we're going to be using the emulator because it's easier to show, and it pretty much changes how fast it goes on this small screen here. So now what we're going to do is we are going to tab out one. We're going to do it elf temp is greater than 60, and if temp, and we're not going to put the if in there, but and temp is less than or equal to 75, we are going to put, I forgot that. We're going to put pretty much the same thing as before, pretty much this statement here, because it's going to be the same. And then under that, we are going to print pretty much the same thing, except this time we are going to change the text color from red to green. And these two colors here were specified above here. And we are going to keep the scroll speed at 0.07. So the next else statement will be if the temp is pretty much smaller than or equal to 59, and then we can do print temperature. It's gonna pretty much be the same as these two up top, and you can just copy it to make it easier than having to constantly write it over and over again. Also, this line here is the same throughout, except we're just changing the color. So instead of it being red or green, it's going to be blue since it's cold. And you can change the colors if you want to. That's why I provided a decent amount of like colors you can change it to. So that's our third, pretty much, oh, second else statement. And the final, we're going to close this off by putting an else statement. And this will be our error message. So pretty much we just want it to, we're going to have it print the temperature. But if it can't do this, if it can't do one of these three, we're going to have it print pretty much error. And a new sense.show message. And there we go. So that's the program in its entirety. So now if I was to run this, light blue, invalid syntax. Oh, I put a space here. Oops, that's my bad. So let's save this, run it. So it shows I was too late, but oh well, there you go. So pretty much what you just saw there was that it shows the full temperature, right, with all the decimals and stuff, because it shows pretty much. So this is pretty much, if you don't like make it an integer, it's gonna show the full decimal value of the temperature, which is 76.99 something something. And you can set the temperature here. So 25 degrees Celsius is 75 degrees. If I was to put this like lower, right, and then run it, the temperature would be 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. So here's the actual, this is what I pretty much did before this. Hmm. So pretty much what we can get from this is that it works. It shows the temperature, so it's 124 degrees, so it's in red. Yeah, I did set blue. So it shows the temperature. So now it's 87. Run it again, it's 31 degrees. I'm trying to get it to show the blue, but I may not be able to. There we go. So it shows the blue now that it's 32 degrees. And the reason why it does is because, if I can show this, the temperature is less than 59. So it shows blue. So pretty much from this is that we now have on the Sense hat sensors that can show pretty much what the temperature is. And if you were to use the physical one, you would just replace it with Sense hat. You would replace EMU with hat, and yeah, it'd work. So that's gonna be it for today. Please, as always, like and subscribe. But I mean, since this channel is like still pretty new, it's very helpful if you can tell me like if I need any changes for the style or if I was probably going too fast or way too slow. That really helps out. So thanks for watching, and as always, I hope this helped.